All right. Hello, hello, YouTube. We are here with Tyranny. This is for our Sunday stories that we're doing live on Twitch and YouTube, and where you can watch this basically later on down the line. Welcome, welcome. I'm going to go ahead and get the chat set up here, so if anybody pops in, we can say hello. All right. This is Tyranny. It is a CRPG, as we're going to be doing on our Sunday stories. This is a game I've been wanting to play for quite a while. A lot of people have told me I need to check this one out. Basically, the idea is that evil has won. And now we can decide to fully embrace that and become even more evil. Or we could try to quell it. So, let's see where things take us. Okay, since this is a Sunday story, I'm thinking I don't want to make this like extremely difficult and stuff. I'm thinking we might even do like a story mode so we can enjoy the story. Because that's really what Sunday Stories is all about, is enjoying the stories. And because I like my challenges when it comes to turn-based stuff, but I also am really, really more interested in storylines and writing and things like that, so. Requires strategy and efficiency, but forgives a few mistakes in combat. Companion combat AI is enabled by default. The story mode difficulty setting requires minimal micromanagement, easily forgives mistakes in combat. Enemies receive a penalty to most stats. Companion combat AI is enabled by default, and party members do not receive wounds until they are knocked out. So I feel like the only problem with doing these on like higher difficulties is the fact that like you're getting into it, it's all that, and then you have like one big fight, and then there's like a wrong move, and next thing you know, it's like, oh man, now I gotta do this whole entire fight all over again and everything. So, and because turn-based, this kind of styles of combat can take a while as it is, yeah, I feel like we're gonna run this. If it feels like it's too boring, though, actually, no, we're gonna do normal difficulty. If it seems like it's too much, or that, yeah, it feels like. Oh, we'll run story mode, and then if it feels like it's too boring, then we'll move it up. Let's start at the bottom, then we'll work our way up and see what we feel. Because again, like I said, I think you're here for the storyline, if anything. At least that's how I feel. Let the game begin.
For over 400 years, the armies of Kairos the Overlord have swept across the known world. All who stood against them fell before their might. Even the Archons, women and men of immense power, were forced to kneel, chained to the Overlord's will. Now Kairos' final conquest has come to our corner of the world.
Do you think
And
the
two
Overlord
of
is
the
Skeletor?
Overlord's armies compete for the honor of taking our lands. The elite disfavored, and the teeming horde of the Scarlet Chorus. The voices of Nerat, spy master and archon of secrets, guides the fierce and undisciplined masses of the Scarlet Chorus. With each battle, the Scarlet Chorus grows stronger, as the defeated are given a simple choice: serve or die. Graven Ash, Archon of War and the Overlord's most loyal general, leads the disfavored. Though small in number, Kairos' ironclad legion has never met true defeat in open battle. Watching
like the
over
purple.
the two generals is Tunon, the Adjudicator, Archon of Justice, eldest of Kairos' minions. Tunon brings Kairos' laws to newly conquered lands, aided by the Fatebinders, judges and executioners of the Overlord's laws. You were among the youngest of the court of Fatebinders when Kairos' armies came to our lands. How could we have known that the fate of thousands would rest in your hands?
Oh, they're all screwed. I'm just gonna come out and say it. Oh, they're in trouble. gonna need a big hulking warrior. In the Northern Empire where you were born, men enjoy equal protections under the laws of the Overlord Kairos. In the southern lands of the Tiers, only men may own or captain ships, but real estate is restricted to women. Men may lease, but durable ownership of the land in the Tiers passes to the eldest daughters or sisters. Most sons enter their father's profession by their mid-teens. Those without a profession or family lands to work can find purpose by pledging service to one of the Overlord's mighty Archons. Criminals, derelicts, and others are often conscripted into the armies of the Archons. If a child cannot forge his own skein, he will certainly find one in battle. Ooh, okay. We gotta decide what kind of character we're gonna play. Oof. Alright. Well. I kind of like that first. Take the last option. Yeah, we need a... We need a beard of a... I would say a champion, but in this case... Evil? Tattoos? Ooh. I'll go back to the writing.
Rest soon.
So we have 3 voices to choose from.
Have a look here. It's a battle!
You learn something every day. I'll just hold on to this.
Yeah, let's go aggressive.
Got it.
Oh, wait, we can have none. Actually, I'm kind of okay with that, considering, because I don't think this is voice. I think this is gonna be my own voice in this.
Trouble is afoot. Flawless! You learn something every day.
You learn something every day.
Okay, what do we got for... Let's see. Okay, that's getting into female portraits. This is the male portraits, alright. This is like the closest, except for the fact that he's missing like the... It should be bald. Or we could do a straight out warrior with a shield and stuff like that with the helmet. Doesn't look that bad. Use Baldur's Gate avatars? Well, a lot of these CRPGs have always been... Well, I mean, they're all usually... A lot of these RPGs are like... homages to Baldur's Gate. So they do kind of... a lot of times you'll see portraits that are like kind of close. Not exactly the same ones, but they're pretty close to like ones that you've seen before. All right, let's go with that one. How did you join Kairos' army? Ooh, okay. Ooh, okay. Were we a pit fighter, a soldier, a hunter? Today you are a Fatebinder, agent of Archon of Justice. You are by no means free, but as a warrior scholar, deputized with discretionary powers to interpret and execute the laws of the Overlord Kairos. You are freer than most. One does not apply to be Fatebinder. One is called by Tunin, the Archon of Justice, and to decline is death. Millions of men and women live in dozens of the realms ruled by the Overlord. How did you stand out amongst his teeming mass of desperation and insignificance and gain the Archon's notice? Oh, that's a good question. You have the combination of wits and courage to be accomplished casters and warriors, and those cursed with such a combination of talents are invariably pulled from their mundane lives and assigned to the armies of the Archons. Your earliest memories are a painful slog of training, study, lecture, and exhaustion, all the elements. When you reached adulthood, Tunon, the educator, came to the barracks and laid claim to your life, seeing you as too valuable for the crucible of battle. Deemed your life better spent dedicated to the art of punitive legal remedies. Though you had much to learn in matters of civil discourse, none could deny your bright future as Tunon's next great enforcer. I'm kind of liking the idea of a battle mage, to be honest. You know, I've been kind of falling into this like line where I kind of like the idea of magic and fighting, having a little mixture of both. Pit fighter, I feel like is going to be very either barbaric, things like that and stuff. Yeah, let's go with war mage. Ooh. Charge fist. Ooh, kind of like that. Okay. Primary, you're trained the following. Oh, I wonder if we get like a double so we could do like a thing. Okay. So could we do like sword and shield and then throw some like magic at the same time? Wouldn't be bad. Javelin. You don't see that a lot. Wielding a javelin is a good compromise between melee and range. Strong weapons deal more damage than bows, but cannot attack from far away. They also have the benefit of being able to switch between ranged and melee attacks depending on the enemy's distance. Wielding a weapon and a shield puts you in the front line of combat, standing between enemies and your allies. Holding a shield will slow down your attack rate slightly, but give you good defensive bonuses. Wielding a two-handed weapon puts your focus on power rather than speed. This is a slow attack style, but the damage you deal will often overcome the armor of your enemies. I mean, big hits. Cleave or sunder? Overhead attack that reduces the target's armor, or cleave, sweeping cone that attacks multiple nearby enemies. Let's go for the one hit, one kill situation. Now I'm hoping that we get a secondary, and that's where we could throw some spells into here. Oh, look at that. Spear and shield. Javelin, dual wielding, unarmed. We're going to go with some shock spells. Channel explosive surge or electrical energy, releasing it all at once on a nearby enemy, interrupting them and sending them flying back. Yes! We are the storm! Give me that dark blue all the way. Ooh, what would our banner be? Hey, Awful, what's going on? Welcome to Sunday Stories. I do like the helm. We are going to be wearing a helmet. The fist is always good. Ooh, we do have some birds. It's actually a cool one. I do like that one. Let's see what else we got. Yeah, I like the bird, honestly. We'll do a white and dark blue. Yeah, that looks good. This looks cool. Yeah, this is a CRPG where it's all about evil has won. So we got to decide if we want to embrace it and be even more evil, or if we're going to try to quell the evil. We're going to go with our classic Stormguard. Be all the evil? Yeah, I feel like we're going to have to decide as a community what we're going to do with that. If we're just going to go straight out, just Warlord, or how we're going to go with this. Oh, Stormguard the Relentless. Oh, I can't do it. Stormguard the Raven. Ooh, I like that. Okay, yep. There we go. Let's go with that. Hence the banner. Okay, so we've got might, quickness, wits, and resolve. Determines the character's ability to endure physical and mental challenges. That's a good one. Describes a character's mental acuity, the ability to observe their environment, pick up clues. Okay, that also goes with spells. Determines how often a character can use their abilities and spells in combat. And then we've got might. Okay, so with that choice, yeah, it looks like these are our main focuses. Surprise vitality, though. We didn't put it. All right. We have 8 points to spend, so we can go 2, 4, 6, 8. Tribute is recommended to you because of your training in Greatsword. Tribute is recommended to you because you're training in shock spells. I wonder if we should go kind of an overall like that, or... I could drop my finesse down to 8. But my accuracy and my armor deflection is not going to be that good. Okay, yeah, let's keep that at kind of the balance there, I feel like. The spell strength and magic defense, let's see. That does make us a little more tankier. Kind of curious. So what does this actually give us? +9 to attack, ability strength. +12 to attack. Okay, so if we go up even higher. I don't know. I think the overall's not bad considering we're doing like a battle mage. All right, we have 20 points available in this. Okay. Athletics, lore, parry. Oh, yeah. Parry master. Two-handed weapons. Hell yeah. Control lightning. We want that up there. I'll put this at 30, actually. Let's up our magic staff ability, too. So 28 magic staff, 35 in two-handed, 35 in parry. Our lore and athletics, that's fine where they are, I feel like. How do you want to continue? Select the conquest option will allow you to play through Kairos' Conquest of Tears, choosing how your character was involved in the invasion. This gives you the most control over the starting state of the game and how other factions will react to your character. Oh yeah, let's start with that. If the music's too high over everything else too, let me know.
To Kairos. And now the Overlord's eye is on the Tears, our home. The last corner of the world free of Kairos' reign.
Darth, could you drop into the
Two
YouTube channel and
armies,
make sure everything looks good?
The Disfavored
please?
and the Scarlet Chorus march south from the Northern Empire, the last realm to fall to Kairos a century prior. In the early days of 428, Kairos' armies arrive at the Gates of Judgment, the mountainous border that we Tearsmen so long believed unassailable. Unable to agree on a unified plan of defense, the various leaders of the Tears sit and wait for each other to deal with the conquerors, until it's too late.
During the conquest, you will decide your character's actions during Kairos' invasion of the Tears, shaping the world through which you will venture over the course of the game. Each choice you make affects your character and how major factions of Tears respond to you. Your decisions matter. Choose wisely. Ooh. Alright. We're doing this together, by the way, okay? I need help on these choices. Okay? This community, I wanted you to come all together and let's figure out some ideas of what we're going to do here. The Bastard City... Oh, hold on. We're going to get into narrative mode. The Bastard City stood on the northern border between Kairos' empire and the Tears. Built upon a natural harbor at the crossroads between realms, the city was a nexus of commerce. To the Tears, it was the center of all wealth. To a northerner, it was little more than a backwater trading post. Its symbolic status as the gateway to the continent made it a natural first target in Kairos' military conquest. Circumstances were ideal for you to prove your worth as a soldier in Kairos' armies. Taking the city would send a message to the rest of the Tears. Kairos' will is unsurmountable. Alright. In the first major engagement of the war, Kairos' armies crossed the mountains and established a foothold. Both armies sent their forces to prepare the way. Alright. Select a token on the map to begin. First major engagement of the war? Or we go here to infiltrate the Tears? Let's get right into the thick of things. The armies of Kairos took the battle to the Gates of Judgment, trumpeting the opening call of the conquest of the Tears. The two armies, the Disfavored and the Scarlet Chorus, brought their distinctive sense of order and chaos to the assault. You went to battle alongside the army whose approach best suited your strengths. Ooh, okay. Alright, so we can either choose to go with the Disfavored or the Scarlet Chorus. Now, the Disfavored, disciplined and battle-hardened, Disfavored are an elite legion in Kairos' army. They spearheaded the conquest of the younger realms, finding themselves always outnumbered but never outclassed. Led by the steadfast and dutiful Graven Ash, whom they follow with obsession devotion, they are committed to opposing their impartation of the order upon. Ooh, okay. The Scarlet Chorus is little more than a gang of thugs and their captive slaves rather than they organize under commissioned officers. The Chorus follow a hierarchy seemingly ruled by whoever has the bravado to command and defend a position. At the head of this chaotic pecking order, the Archon of Secrets, better known as the Voices of Nerat, treats the Scarlet... Oh, right-click for details. Treats the Scarlet Chorus as his personal army. The Scarlet Chorus often suffers tremendous losses after battle, only to swell in the aftermath when captured enemies and Caradwell prisoners are given the cruel opportunity to join or die. I personally think that Disfavored sounds really cool. The Legion only tolerates Northerners in their ranks, providing themselves on the high standards of cultural purity. Oh, okay. Yeah, I kind of like the Disfavored, to be honest. These are like true out warriors and whatnot. This is just more like a rabble and like a horde. I'm going to say we're going to go with Disfavored. Standing shield to shield with Kairos' ironclad elite, you advanced on the mercenary army purchased by the nobles of the blasted city. The Legion wanted to send a message to the Tiers that superior breeding and disciplined training would win the day. The bastard city learned too late that a military is earned and never bought. The mercenary army quickly found themselves outclassed by the superior tactics and formation of the Disfavored. Those few who lived to the end of the battle were rounded up, the weak executed, and the strong enslaved to haul the army's wagons on the journey south. We're going to do some dark things in this game, I feel like. Holy shit, okay. It has begun. You found a way to feed Kairos' armies in enemy territory. You decided the fate of enemy soldiers captured in battle. Ooh. Ooh, okay. Are we dealing with food for the army, or are we dealing with our enemies? Murder them all. Blood for the blood god. We shall judge our enemies. The soldiers of the Tiers fell by the hundreds, and Kairos' armies could not agree on how to handle what few survivors they dragged back to camp. Befitting your role, the commanders turned you to decide the fate of those who occupied prison pens. There were only enough prisoners to support the plan of a single army. Alright, so if we choose, we can enslave or we can conscript. Disfavored needed slaves to haul their gear, dig latrines to keep their pallets warm at night. You considered the survivors of battle to their subservient role among Graven Ash's noble troops, or you gave prisoners a chance to serve in Kairos' army or die. The Scarlet Chorus was in need of extra troops to fill up the vanguard, and your former enemies would occupy those slots nicely. Yeah, this kind of feels like, you know what this kind of feels like if we went like in Warhammer World and stuff like that? This feels like how like the rats or the orcs would act as a Scarlet Chorus. And Chaos and, well, some of Chaos, I should say, and like the Northmen and stuff, they would definitely be, they would be that, because they're all about that. Well, and the Dark Elves too, they enslave their enemies 100%. They're all about order when it comes to their battles and things. I feel like conscripting might be the way to go, because I don't think if we go by the kind of the role-playing that Disfavored go by, Yeah, they need slaves to haul the gear and everything like that and stuff, but I feel like, yeah, that's all they would end up being as slaves, where this would actually put more troops in the army. Yeah, let's conscript the enemy. You arm cooperative ex-soldiers with scrap weapons and toss them into the vanguard of the next Scarlet Chorus assault. Those who survived were welcome to take up the arms and armor of the fallen and eke out a desperate struggle to survive in Kairos' military. After their first victory, you rewarded the new recruits with the opportunity to execute their wounded or reluctant countrymen. That's dark. The armies of Kairos amassed around the bastard city, the first battle of the tiers to fall. Both armies longed to storm the walled outposts. The Scarlet Chorus howling for plunder and disfavored, forming an unbreakable shield wall. Your prowess on the field of battle had carried them this far, but there was one more step before total victory. Both of the armies had inspired schemes to take the bastard city. Which did you support? Ooh. Oh, we have 3 choices here, okay. We can go with assault the main gates, burn the city, or sabotage the city's defenses. You led a mixed band of disfavored and Scarlet Chorus scouts over the city walls to sabotage its defenses. You joined disfavored vanguard in a direct assault upon the city gates. No fortification would stand before the unstoppable legion. We'll get warriors' respite. Stand your ground in face of defeat. During this time, you will regenerate health rapidly, but your damage is significantly reduced. Oh, I kind of like that, considering what we're doing, making our character. You join the Scarlet Chorus in setting fire to the city and blocking the gates. The defenders would surrender or burn. Searing palm, gather heated energy into your hands, release it onto a foe. The target ignites in flames, burning over time. Create a cloud of obscuring shadows and dust. For a short duration, enemies that use physical attacks against you have a significantly increased chance to miss during this time. Your attacks will also be less effective. We're just going to storm the gates. Yeah, we're going for the warrior respite. Storm the damn gates. Let's go. With heroic courage and legendary determination, the disfavored battered the gates of the bastard city to the splinters. Those who fell under the consistent hail of arrows or cascades of boiling pitch left the battlefield temporarily, only to appear hours later as the Archon graven ashes protection healed their numerous wounds. In time, the gates gave way and Kairos' forces spilled inside the city walls, resounding cheers of victory. Well, there goes the bastard city. The bastard city settled into a new state of normalcy. With every tower displaying Kairos' banner, your name was whispered alongside rumors of a decorated career to come. The armies divided into 2 fronts and migrated south. Tunan sent word that you were to join the next frontier of Kairos' conquest, either as judge and overseer of the settlement of Lethian's Crossing, or as a war advisor with the armies advancing into the realm of Apex. Ooh, okay, so the troops of Mountain Realm of Apex stood idle in the safety of their valley, biding their time as their neighbors in the bastard tier fell. In the second year of the war, a joint force of the disfavored and Scarlet Chorus crossed over the mountains to take control of the tier's central valley. The deposits of iron made the settlement of Lethian's Crossing a strategic war asset. Kairos has sent the forge-bound smith mages of exceptional skill to establish a flow of weaponry. Oh, we gotta take the weapons. 100%. Yeah. Yeah, this is where they're getting their iron and their weapons made. Absolutely, we're taking the Lethian's Crossing. This is cool. So what we're doing here is we're building the beginning of the storyline, like how all this fell and like what purpose we had in the war and everything like that, which was really cool. Years ago, Lethian the Bold founded a small merchant town at the intersection of the ancient old walls. A pact between the settlers and the mercenary company meant the caravans were able to travel without fear of bandits or bane, and the town thrived in modest significance. Lethian's crossing drew Kairos' attention for the iron deposits in the surrounding hills. With the region under Kairos' control, the northern smith mages could set up workshops to refine ore and arm the disfavored with finest weapons in the known world. The Archon of Secrets dismantled the mercenary support with a generous bribe. Taking the crossing in a bloodless victory, Tunon dispatched you to travel alongside Kairos' forces and bring order to the region. Okay. The cult of Siren, the Archon of Song's power ensnared the mind of his favored soldier. The iron must flow. You found a clever solution to improve production of iron weapons and armor. A cult? Or iron? Well, I feel like we're playing like a battle mage. We're all about the warrior in that regards. Yeah, let's go with the iron must flow. This is not a Cthulhu thing. We're not doing the cult thing on this one. Kairos' smith mages worked day and night to create weapons. No one faulted their dedication, yet production was low. The plans that came to light proved decisive to the disfavored and Scarlet Chorus. On one hand, any additional manpower was needed for fighters, not forges. On the other hand, the celebrated weaponry of Kairos' armies needed to be fiercely guarded. So if we take the Scarlet Chorus on this one, we'll take refugees from the recent influx and force them to serve in Kairos' military. You repurpose these individuals to haul wagons of iron for the smith mages. This proved an inconvenience to the Scarlet Chorus, who relied on their force of numbers to be effective in the field. You conscripted help from a local tribe of beastmen. Their strength would more than offset their disobedience. The disfavored protested that savages have access to secrets of iron, but their voices were few compared to the support of the Scarlet Chorus. Ooh, we get in a tribe of beastmen? Yeah, I'm in. Let's go for it. Scarlet Chorus were overjoyed to learn the beastmen conscription and generously lent their support to your cause. The local beastmen were subdued and yoked to iron-bearing wagons, where their boundless strength and tirelessness proved critical to the smith mages. This favored grew agitated about exposing the secret of iron to savages. You attempted to allay their concerns, but your words fell flat before a stubborn, uncompromising audience. Okay, they weren't too happy about it, but tensions rose as disfavored and Scarlet Chorus soldiers rubbed elbows with mercenaries hired to guard the forges. As the forges improved production, both armies demanded treatment. Yeah, I mean, we just did the weapons. Let's take care of the armory next. Since you aided the production of the weapons, commanders of both armies lobbed for additional arms. They offered all manner of bribes to be next in line for a fitting session. With the masters of the forge, how did you state the lust for iron? You let this favorite have the iron, keeping the best tools in the hands of the elite. The Scarlet Chorus saw the slight as an obvious display of preferential treatment. You gave iron arms to Scarlet Chorus commanders, knowing you'd pay very well for any killing tool. Weaponry of such acclaim was typically reserved for the highest disfavored officers, but you were open to changing tradition under the circumstances. You allowed no changes to the orderly dispensation of iron and punished those who tried to bribe you twice. Ooh. We gotta be orderly about this, or are we just picking? I mean, I do like this favorite, I'm gonna say. But we can remain neutral and punish those who have bribed us or are trying to bribe us, so we can basically be like, hey, nobody gets to tell me what's going to happen here. Yeah, I'm going with that third option, actually. I think we're going to remain neutral, to be honest. Using language that left nothing open to interpretation, you let both of the commanders know that bribery would not be tolerated in Kairos' military. I didn't stop either of them from seeking you out again, making promises of wealth and advancement. If you showed special favor, deciding that enough was enough, you ordered both of the commanders flogged in view of their armies, letting pain and humiliation teach them where reason had failed. Tragedy struck when a mercenary hired by the voices of Narat injured a forge-bound artisan, leaving him unable to practice his craft. Tunan ordered the mercenaries to leave the city in the hands of Kairos' more responsible servants. Only a token garrison could be left behind while the armies returned to the front. As his favorite and Scarlet Chorus showed increasing tension and hostility toward each other, Tunan decreed it's best that only one force control the crossing. He granted control of Lethian's crossing to disfavored. Yes, disfavored will have it. Disfavored placed a modest garrison in the settlement of Lethian's crossing. Though the force was larger than might be needed to police the small settlement, protecting the forge-bound ironsmiths became the true agenda of the defense force, as these magical craftsmen kept the disfavored invasion force suited in iron. Relieved at the departure of the Scarlet Chorus, the citizens of Lethian's crossing felt they got the least of the two burdens. You received word from Graven Ash thanking you for your decision. The forge-bound and their weaponry could not be entrusted to the voices of Narat. That's going to come into play later. With the mercenaries expelled and Lethian's crossing under new leadership, Kairos' forces congratulate themselves on bringing order to the settlement and guaranteeing a productive flow of resources. Over the course of this diversion, the army front advanced further into the tiers. Your skills were needed in the realm of Asia, Stalwarts, or the Vellum Citadel. Oh, okay. Kairos' conquering gaze fell upon the Vellum Citadel, its treasures and knowledge, its secrets. Ooh, I do like secrets. Tell me your secrets. Kairos dispatched the Archon of Stone to subjugate the nation of Azure. With its heavily defended position and rich military tradition, the realm of Stalwart was the most formidable realm in the tiers. Ooh. Secrets of the Citadel or a defended fortress? I'm going to go with the secrets. The Vellum Citadel was an archive and library of massive scale. Its inhabitants were known as the School of Ink and Quill, a circle of mages that centuries ago carved out their own mountainous refuge on lands unsettled by the other major realms. Legend said that the Citadel housed a treasure trove of arcane knowledge. The overlord's spies infiltrated the school and confirmed as much. The time was ripe to send a detachment to the great library fortress and force scholars to yield to Kairos. I mean, if we get like death spells and things like that, this will be huge. A peaceful surrender turned bloody. Siren's song ensnared some stealthy stages. God, let's try saying that 5 times fast. We're gonna go with the Song of Encerement. Siren, Archon of Song, used her power to enthrall enemy mages who crept beyond the Citadel walls. After Kairos' forces rounding up the arcane practitioners, the disfavored began executing the new captives before they could share dangerous knowledge. A crime under Kairos' law with the Scarlet Chorus. Ooh. You calmed the disfavored with a compromise. The sages' mouths would be bound with iron brittles, preventing them from speaking their forbidden knowledge. You punished the disfavored for executing mages bound to Scarlet Chorus, ordering that several disfavored soldiers be given to the Archon of Song as their personal bodyguards. Yeah, we'll bind him in iron. As the disfavored fitted the sages with their restraining masks, Scarlet Chorus openly criticized suppression of the enemy intelligence. You gave the soldiers a stern lesson on Kairos' laws and the sensitive treatment of forbidden knowledge, but that didn't stop the whispering and rumors that the conquest was being mismanaged. Well, we'll see how this goes. Siren composed songs of strength and provoked bloody slaughter. Suspicions arose when sages surrendered. Let's go with the right of command. The Archon of Song incited Scarlet Chorus recruits to fight their leaders. Bosses were killed and supplanted left and right. The disfavor demanded an end to the practice for the good of the conquest. You agreed with the disfavored arguments. The right of command had its place, but not when Kyros' forces were outnumbered and reinforcements were weeks behind, if not longer. Yeah, I agree with that 100%. You ruled that each Archon had the right to govern their armies according to their nature. No. We need discipline. Scarlet Chorus, even the gang bosses, argued in favor of their ritual contest killing. In the end, they agreed to suspend the practice for the remainder of the Vellum Citadel campaign. Lacking an outlet to settle scores or deal with the pent-up hostility, tensions flared between commanders and recruits who were forced to act against their better nature and communicate. Crestfallen by the preferential treatment you showed to disfavor, the Scarlet Chorus retreated deeper into the mountains, leaving your detachment with a skeleton crew. Tunin sent word that Kairos' patience had run thin. The Overlord would cast an edict of fire on the enemy. The parchment arrived in a slender case of engraved iron, written on it the words of a spell powerful enough to destroy the Vellum Citadel. You had the choice of when to read the edict. Reading it at sunrise would offer your enemies no warning of the devastation to come. You could also wait until sunset, giving them ample time to flee or make amends. Claiming they still had spies within the Citadel, the Scarlet Chorus urged you to warn the mages of the Overlord's edict. Granting their request, you met with the enemy under a blue flag of peace and warned them of their doom, giving the Chorus spies and the enemy a chance to run. Opting to give the enemy no quarter, you proclaimed the edict of fire at the first moments of dawn, granting the enemy no warning of the destruction to come. Though the Chorus insisted your actions doomed their spies, the disfavored applauded your decision. In this case, we're going to go with the Chorus. Yeah, we're going to give them that chance so the spies can at least get out of there. You confronted the mages with a warning and hoped the message was received. The hour before sunset, numerous figures were spotted fleeing the Citadel. As the sun dipped under the horizon, you read the words of the edict. The earth shook and the red-orange light glowed in the foundation of the sprawling Citadel. Bubbling up from under the library, a torrent of lava heaved with explosive force, gushing from windows and between loose bricks, melting winding trenches in the surrounding land. Days later, the flames still raged on, the conflagration continually fed and renewed by the power of the edict. The armies of Kyros left devastation of the Vellum Citadel in silence. From that day forward, the Tears came to know the once noble Citadel as the Burning Library. This was an undisputed loss of resources, knowledge, culture, and life, but a message had been sent. The Overlord will not tolerate defiance. You didn't have long to rest before Tunin called you into service once more. You were one of the last to depart from the mountains, and as you journeyed off, you spotted a few campfires in the mountains. They were mere specks dwarfed by the inferno. The last gasp of survivors, or perhaps looters from Kairos' armies, bored and daring enough to pick through the ashes. Alright, well, we burnt down the Citadel. It's not the plan I had. You have reached the end of Kairos' conquest. Do you want to continue or erase your progress and start over? Ooh. No, I think we had a win, and then we had kind of a loss on that. So I think I'm okay with that. It's kind of balanced.
The year is 431, and Kairos' invasion has shattered all major opposition in the tiers. The Younger Realms, the Bastard Tier, the Free Cities. All who defied Kairos lay broken by battle, or bowed in surrender. The two armies of the Overlord, the Disfavored and the Scarlet Chorus, now control our lands. But our will is not yet extinguished. Not entirely. In the Valley of Vendrian's Well, Those of us unwilling to bow to Kairos have banded together in defiance.
Yeah, with a spear in his head.
Violating an oath of surrender from 2 years prior, we have staged a bloody uprising, murdering the disfavored and Scarlet Chorus garrison in a midnight assault. With their main forces spread across the tiers, the disfavored and Scarlet Chorus redeploy to Vendrian's Well to crush the resistance. But months pass with no definitive battle. As disagreement and discord paralyze the Archons, we bide our time and wait for our message of insurrection to spread across the tiers. The Overlord is not amused, and Kairos has one message for the Archons: crush the Oathbreakers or die. Kairos backs this threat with an edict, a magical commandment that can slay all in the valley should the order be ignored. The honor of proclaiming this edict fell to you. Sent across the mountains to Vendrian's Well, you carry the Overlord's edict to read before the Archons. As you finally make your way through the winding mountain passes into the valley, the ground trembles, and Kairos' magic seals the way behind you. You are trapped in Vendrian's Well, with Kairos' armies and the Oathbreakers. The only way to survive is to fulfill the terms of the Overlord's edict, in any way that you can.
And thus it begins. Ooh. Welcome to Terratus! If it's your first visit to the world of Tyranny, watch for these windows to help you become familiar with the game. You can disable tutorial messages anytime from the game option menu. Okay. Here's our journal. We got some party spells, things like that. Core expressions, accents. Oh, this is going to be interesting. Spells are created using 2 or more sigils. The core sigil determines the type of magic, such as fire, frost, or illusion. This expression, the signal, determines how that core shapes. Oh gods, we're making our own spells? Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I get the idea of that. Ah, I see, I see. Okay. Alright, right now we have the Phalanx. We have a bronze greatsword on our hands. Okay, cool, cool, cool. And our second weapon set is a Lesser Staff of Storm's Heart. How do you have my heart in there? One cool thing about these games is that I feel like they were always made for PC. Baldur's Gate definitely fixed that, which was nice, but yeah, a lot of these games were definitely made for that. Power, defense, leadership, range, agility, magic. Oh yeah, we've got some, okay. We've got some talents to be able to pick from. Weapon skills. Journal. Reputations. Oh, this is going to be fun. Aurora. Kyros, the Overlord be praised. When I heard the avalanche, I feared the valley was sealed with you on the other side. This favored warrior claps her gauntlet to her breastplate, the traditional salute of the Legion. Well, I figured I know about conversations. Is there anything we should know? Nope, it's pretty much all the same, usual. Okay. Classic style. Got it, got it. The commander wouldn't say why the governor of Lethian's Crossing would be coming, but since we have no forges here, I imagine you were here to knock some sense into the voices of Narat. I mean, meditate with the Archons so that we might agree on a plan to wipe out these Oathbreakers. So who's the Oathbreakers? In honor of the Vendrian Guard. Oh, we have ads kicking off. For those who are over on Twitch. We are going to take a second. We're going to be playing this until about 4 in the afternoon, so we are going to take a second to take a break, stand up, get a little exercise for a moment. Ads run for about 3 minutes, so we usually kind of stand up for a moment, do this. So YouTube, anybody who's over there as well, or if you're watching the video, we're just going to take a quick moment. It's a good time to just kind of stand up and go through it. You know, it's like in a movie theater, you can't do this too much, right? So we make it so you can. Back in just a moment. Alright then, that feels better. Okay. I think ads should be over in just a moment. Honor the Vendrian Guard. Naked on the surrender of the 429 soldiers in both of this favorite and the Scarlet Cross now refer to these tiersmen as Oathbreakers. It's perhaps one of the few points of the agreement between the disfavored and the Scarlet Chorus. Oh, yeah, let's hit this and tell it what happened. What's Stormgar's voice? I think we do our classic. Can you hear the hum in the air? That glow around the rocks, the avalanche's Kairos' magic, the Overlord has sealed the valley. Your senses seem more than mine, good Fate Binder. I do not pretend to know much about such things, but if that was Kairos' magic and you're here on important business, well, you don't have to be Archon of Secrets to guess that you're here to proclaim an edict. What does Kairos have in store for the enemy? 10 years of festering plague and eager of twisted bones? I come bearing an edict of Kairos. Our soldiers will complete their task or die. The edict is leveled against us. Our eyes widen with fear, their posture slackens. But the Scarlet Chorus prevents us from taking action. Why would the Overlord punish both of... She clears her throat with a sigh. Forgive me. It's not my place to question. We should have conquered the enemy within weeks of arriving in the valley. The delay reflects poorly on all of us. Let's see. Yeah, let's just blame both armies. 2 Archons and their armies cannot take a citadel they've taken before. Of course Kairos is pleased. Your words sting, but they are not false. The soldiers stand ready, yet the Archons never issue the charge. If anything could force them to act, it will be the Overlord's edict. Well, you traveled a long way. I won't keep you further. I'm sure the Archons will want to hear from you at... Reverse was silent, her attention snapping eastward when alarmed. Did you hear that? More runners. 3rd time this week. The Oathbreakers keep trying to send messengers to the mountains to gather help from the outside of the valley. She points over to the collapsed path from which you arrived. But they're a bit too late for that now. Come, let's show these Oathbreakers a good fight. Alright, our first battle. Let's go. Oh, shit. Pause. Let's go with a Sunder. Tyranny uses a pausable real-time combat system because you will often manage more than one character at a time. It's a good idea to pause the game, issue orders, and resume real-time to see the orders play out. Yep. Your character can always perform basic attacks using their equipped weapon or their fist. If fighting unarmed, characters also have special abilities, spells they can use in combat. Alright, so pretty much all the usual when it comes to a lot of these games. Parry, dodge, endurance, will, and magic. Okay, that's their defenses. We're gonna pause. We're gonna do a charge fist at this guy. Ooh, that one hurt him. Let's get the loots. I don't think we got a skill point at all in that, because I don't think I see anything on that end. No, we didn't get a level up arrow. Think we could fit through the rubble? I think we could pick the rubble up. Rockslide blocks the path ahead. You can squeeze through a narrow gap between the stones, or you can attempt to push one of the boulders out of the way. Oh, it's athletics. Okay. We'll squeeze through. I'm gonna go ahead and charge fist this one. Then we're gonna go ahead and sunder. What's this one? Thrust. 18 to 24 slash pierce. 1824 slash pierce. Okay. This will break their armor though too. Let's do that. Nice. Go ahead and pierce into this one. Let's go ahead and sunder this one's armor. Let's give a shock to the system. on thrust for that straight out damage. Nice, 14, that was good. This guy's almost done, near death. Oh! Oh, we turned him into giblets.
Don't bother with me. Go down the past. Trust us.
The soldier clutches his guts and winces. You can see a hint of entrails between his fingers.
Yeah, get up! You're holding your inside. You can still fight. You're wounded. You're wounded. It's not trivial.
He laughs through clenched teeth.
This, but a scratch. I've seen twice as worse 10 times over.
He doubles over in pain, gagging and shivering.
Well, if you'll let me help.
Said I'm fine. The soldier moans and shakes his head.
Raven Ash protects. You go on and help the others.
All right, Skeletors, man. We should have a quick save, maybe Q. Nope, that's that. All right, let's find out what the quick save is. So I still feel like this is a little high. Let's go ahead and bring this down here. Controls. Ah, F6 is the quick save. Okay. Also, I set in options in here for the auto pause stuff. I think just the enemy spotted is a good one. Although target destroyed is always good too, because we know for sure. Well, this is when we get a full party though too. Let's see. We're gonna do also. Yeah, when someone's in low health, we should know that, and when a weapon is infected, we need to know that too. Ineffective. All right, yeah, we'll keep it exactly as it was. Several skulls bleached by the sun and picked clean by the carrion birds are spiked on a rough lead. Hewn post that is the only heraldry of the Scarlet Chorus needs. Let's get down to the fray here.
Try and catch me, worm.
A young Scarlet Fairy weaves around the Vandrian guard. Attackers, avoiding their weapons with fluid grace, she nods to acknowledge you. A breathless enemy soldier passes a glance to her countrymen. This one's crazy! Too much lead in her water. We should cut our losses and turn back.
Ha! Fate finder. Here at last. Here to join me in putting these cowards out of their misery.
Join the battle.
Save something for me!
Okay, let's go after this one. Actually, no, we're gonna go after this one. As he's an archer back down here. Left click to toggle party AI, right click to change party AI settings. Okay. Ah, here we go. Let's do that, and on our end, we're gonna go ahead and shock this guy to start. Oh, could we kick him off the thing? That would be amazing. Burning iron. Launch a burning arrow that sets foes afire. Well, we're kind of in the midst of melee, so I don't think that's going to be a good one. Oh, penetrating armor. Yeah, that's good. Let's wait until we finish this one first, I feel like. Yeah, keep attacking her. Wait, why are you disengaging? Oh, could we use... Oh, I see. Ah, so that blood-soaked stone is like a combo attack. Alright, cool. Alright, let's go ahead and finish her off then. And then in her end, we're going to go ahead and do a skewer on this one. Giblets!
Phew. I can tell you didn't spend the conquest in a diplomat's tent. I'm versed, by the way. But there are more important things to take care of than introductions. Those Vendrian guard we killed didn't come alone.
Okay. You fight like a storm. What's your role in the army?
A Scarlet Fury, one of the elite killers of our ignoble gang. You'll see more than a few of us around camp, but don't let that fool you. We're a rare breed. Most of the soldiers in the Scarlet Chorus are little more than farmers and children armed with rusted forks. Makes them easier to control. The voices of Nerat called his best fighters to this siege. There must be something important about Vendrian's well, though don't ask me what. The Archon isn't in the habit of spilling secrets.
Why are the Vendrian Guard attacking now?
My guess. The Vendrian Guard are testing our strength in battle, learning how we perform before they organize a real offensive. That, or they're really, really desperate to get beyond the mountains and couldn't wait until nightfall.
Alright, I'm ready when you are.
Eager. I like that. Before we go, you might search among the remains of our fallen comrades. Wherever they're bound, I doubt they'll miss their boots, much less any rings or any useful iron they might be clutching.
I see your point. Nice and practical.
No reason to pity the fallen. Before long, we might wish we'd joined them here. But at least we'll enjoy heavy pockets and warm toes. For the voices of Nerat!
That's a signal of reaching. Okay, and a Scarlet Fury helmet. Okay. Interesting, okay. I'm about to say, where's the armor we just picked up? Is that really a Fate Pioneer of Tune and Helm? Okay, it's equipped, it's common, okay. I mean, it seems like she could use that, if anything. So we have our first party member, it seems, named Verse. Oh, we're going down this way.
They won't see me coming.
Okay, so that's how we go into sneak mode. Tarkus Demos.
Eyes forward, no looking back!
The Vendrian Guard warrior roars with his falx held high. What the hell's a falx? Enduring symbol of military life in the tiers, adapted from the Argarian scythes of the Aesir, this curved blade was in ages past a weapon of peasants forced into battle. In the last century, the nobles of Apex took a liking to the weapon. Oh, okay. His warriors largely lost over the dinner combat.
Stand aside or your funeral will be over the side of the bluff.
Seeing you squarely in his path, the soldier points his weapon your way. No escape, no surrender.
Enemies die! There's no escape, and for all breakers, no surrender!
You have gained wrath with the Vendrian Guard.
Then we'll settle this with bronze!
The warrior points towards you, ordering his men to advance. These fools don't know when to stop. I like that. As he signals his men to charge, the sound of chanting rises from the south, drawing his attention.
Reinforcements! Hurry!
Mocking blaze. Run down the elf breakers, let none escape. From the red mob of reinforcements from the south, a blood chanter emerges at the head of the rabble, the ornamental crest of her staff pulsing with crimson tones, signing sigils of magic and wordlessly moving her mouth. The blood chant describes a series of spells into the air. A red glow surrounds the Vendrian Guard warriors as the chanter's magic worms its way into their minds, blinding them with rage.
Hold position, all of you! You there, keep to the path!
The warriors gestures along the canyon trail, but his soldiers turn their attention to the Scarlet Chorus, roaring challenges.
No! Don't engage them, we need to run!
His orders falling on deaf ears, the warriors reluctantly ready his weapons. Oh my man. Alright, I'm gonna have her deal with these ones in the back. We're gonna start with a nice bow shot. I'm going for the warrior man in front. Go right for sundering his armor first.
Count on it.
I feel like these ones could handle themselves down here. Oh, the burning effect. God damn, that's nasty.
You got it.
Alright, let's go ahead and we're going to do a Warriors or Spite on us because it seems like this guy's kind of like a little bit of a mini-boss to start. Yep. Let's give a roar. We're going to go ahead and shock him. We're going to finish off this one first. We're going to use our next attack on him. She's down. Very nice. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and just work on attacking this. I'm going to try another Sunder on him. There we go. He's been sundered. Beautiful.
Hey, you
Alright, she's into this, which is good. Let's do the verse on this guy.
won't enjoy this as much as I do.
Ooh, beautiful. A crescent runner. Come quick! We have a situation on the cliffside. They have the commander. But the loot. But the loots. F5 or backspace? Oh, okay, backspace, beautiful. Let's see, any of these. So usually if we hit a button, Let's see if we find it here. It's not Alt. Ah, it's Tab. Okay, Tab will show you things that you can pick up in the area and stuff like that. Beautiful. Some Greaves. Alright. Look at this guy. Cosma. Draw attention to me. What the Vulture Man? Alright, looks like we got some boots. Looks like we have some better ones. Those are 40. These are 60. We'll lose deflection on these, though, it looks like. Okay, what about her? What's she having here? She'll gain 0.5 in armor. She'll lose recovery, deflection, disengagement. Yeah, they're not worth it. Nah. I'd say none of that's worth it. Stow your weapons, or we find out how long a man screams before hitting the ravine down below. Cornered between a precipitous drop and a band of angry soldiers. Oh, you know what we'll do? We'll go into our Baldur's Gate narrative. The Oathbreaker warrior holds a disfavored officer at knife point. You must gather your party before venturing forth. Drastus. Scary him! Well, not for me. Raven Ash will protect. This favored officer winced, blood seeping from the seams of his bracers and cuirass. You heard the man. He plainly advised you. Use that little blade of yours. What are you waiting for? Permission from your pimp? This blade... With a jerk of the knife, he slices off a clump of Drastus' matted hair. If you're so eager to see your ally dead, just step closer. Ooh. Alright. How evil are we gonna be here? It looks like we could try to help him. He thinks supposedly he'll attack. Yeah, let's, when we get to the point, I think, of talking a little first, we'll try for that a little bit there. Release the prisoner and you might know the inside of a cell. And I'm sure that cell will have daily visits from Scarlet Chorus cats thirsty for a bit of torture. I'd rather take my chances with death. Now that's unfair, I assure you. It's much more of a hunger for torture than a thirst. But you are correct, we have no charity left for those who laughed at our mercy once before. If you fools won't deal with him, maybe I will. Whatever you're thinking, don't. Not until Commander Drastus is safe. Alright, we have to help Drastus then. We have to help Drastus! You have gained wrath with Scarlet Chorus. You have gained favor with disfavored. Yes, I like disfavored more anyway. Screw these demonic horde. Tyrell dashes the blade across Drastus' throat. Blood gushes out from the commander's neck, drowning out his final words. Tyrell points the bloody knife toward you. Death to Kairos! Death to the Archons! The moment Drastus' body falls to the ground, the disfavored soldiers pounce forward, quickly reducing the Oathbreaker to a bloody mess. Drastus' death will be a setback. He was a fine steward of this steadfast. But with the losses we've sustained in this war, and I'm the next in command, I will aspire to be half the leader Drastus was. One of the soldiers found some magic blather on the Oathbreakers. I figured you being trained in letters could perhaps examine the parchment. Repeating the same messages in different written scripts, the parchment explained the Vendrian guards' desire to overthrow Kairos' archons and rout their armies from the tiers. The pages aren't addressed to any specific reader, but rather openly invites all who remain loyal to the younger realms to gather at Vendrian's well. Recruitment material. They were trying to bring more traitors to the fight. There were likely other groups trying to flee the valley, but we can rest knowing we stopped this group a shame. It's such a high cost. The Archons are expecting you at disfavored war camp. When you're ready to leave, exit by the southeast gate and keep going that way through the foothills. All right. He had grain on him, a sigil of distant impact, quick finger bangles, and gives some haste, and a falx. Well, we'll take the loots. Do we got a map down here? Oh, that's cool. We can see the map down here and stuff. While it's possible to venture alone, you will find the game more rewarding with a well-balanced party. There are now 2 characters in your party, and both were selected. Any commands you issue now will affect both party members. Yep. You can either control your new companion directly, or you can enable their AI and have them attack and use their abilities automatically. Once their AI is enabled, you can always select them and tell them to attack specific. Oh, see, I like that, yeah. I like when I don't have to worry about using my party members and let them do their thing. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to have her... I'm going to have her be more of an archer. Yeah. Oh, that was Cosmo. Fatebinder. What an honor to have one of Tunin's court visit our humble holdfast. Need supplies. Bursting with energy, the merchant slams her palm down on top of the crate. If you so, come to the right place. Let's see what you have. Shortbow, bronze greatsword, bronze war mace. Ooh, two-handed war mace. Big hits by crushing. Kind of like it. Oh, I have no money right now, though. Oh, the foul next will give me freaking 13, though. Well, I'm going to sell that because I have no intention of using that right now. And with that said, I'm going to buy the war mace. Yeah, I feel like if we're going to make like a warlord style character, let's have a really cool weapon like that. Seems we can do spells even with a two-hander, which is really cool. Camping supplies, huh? Yeah, let's buy 5 of those. Is this our party stash? Now let's go ahead and sell that extra equipment we have that we're not going to use. A whetstone, 2 armor penetrated by attacks for 300 seconds. Ooh, nice. Okay. Waking Death will revive when defeated for 120 seconds. Just some straight out hide. Looks like we could sell that. I don't know if there's a crafting in this game at all, so. Negate for 40. Some grain that will give us vitality. Potion of protection and some health potions. Okay. All right, let's trade all that. That's looking good. We're gonna go ahead and throw that war mace in our main weapon here. We're gonna actually use the war mace and the great sword, because we're gonna have one that can do crushing, and we're gonna have one that can do slash and piercing. But I think the war mace will be our main weapon, if anything else. Yeah. Yeah. I like that plan. What did haste do? Quickness. Let's give that to her for now. She seems like she would be the one with quickness. Oh, we could change her colors out and everything too. That's cool. All right. Good stuff. Good stuff. Man, I feel like I should have got more athletics. She athletics? No, she doesn't have athletics either. I feel like we're missing out on some of this athletic stuff, but maybe we'll pump some points into that as we level up. There's a couple things that we missed, it looks like, with it. All right, what's going on with this prisoner over here? The prisoner is from the Tarkus clan, and he's not just any oathbreaker, he's one of their leaders. No mercy for those who foment rebellion. Find a post and string him up. If his wounds don't kill him, thirst, starvation, and infection will do the rest. All must be given a chance to find absolution in service to the Scarlet Chorus. And you know full well this has always been our way. He has a chance to be a slave or soldier. Only then do we feed him to the pigs. I'm tired of this nonsense. You keep recruiting these oathbreakers, then you fail to inflict order and they defect. And we have to fight them all over again. I will not let another one of these self-knobs come back to haunt us. Well, I insist this oathbreaker be taken to the voices of Nerat, leaving us in an impasse. Fortunately, we have a fate binder here to settle the matter for us. Oh. So what say you? What should become of the prisoner? Do we give them a new recruit, or do we execute? Chorus should be allowed its chance to recruit or execute the Oathbreaker. No mercy for our enemies. Execute. Happily. This one will pay for Drastus and all of my other brothers and sisters that perished here in Vendrian as well. Aurora nods to a nearby warrior. You heard the Fatebinder. Kill him, but make an example of him. Find a post that's not in use and string him up. Until next time, Fatebinder. I know you have important business in the valley. No point in keeping you. For the glory of Kairos. Well, that man's dead. Oh, there's a whole thing here. Okay. Yeah, why hasn't the siege has been resolved? It's because the Scarlet Corps scoff at the Great General's plans and they aren't carrying their weight. They should be using their great numbers to patrol and harass the enemy. If you ask me, I think they're intentionally going easy on the Oathbreakers. Even if they listen to us, are they even capable of following orders? The Scarlet Corps doesn't have a chain of command, just a rabble of gang bosses cutting each other's throats for advancement. Pissing on the disfavored is like a badge of honor, if you don't mind my saying so. Alright. Raven Ash protects indeed. But have you survived? In my early days, I broke from my phalanx and ran at an enemy, received a spear in my guts for my efforts. It took the better part of an afternoon for the Archon's protection to patch me up, learned a valuable lesson too. When I was at day 0, I caught a hammer blow to the side of the head. All I remember is the ringing sound of feeling my skull shatter, from jawline to ear to top. I woke up hours later as the medic said there's a piece of helmet lodged in my brain. She draws herself up, my badge, my reminder. We owe it all to the great general. He gives us the strength to fight where others would flee, and stand when others would fall. What a pile of dung. They're right about one thing, the disfavored have taken too many blows to the head. You don't believe in Ash's protection? I believe in it all right, but I don't buy that he's doing anyone a favor. In war, death is a lesson. Survival is its own reward. If Ash protects his soldiers, the weakest of them occupy a space in the phalanx that could put to better use. Raven Ash gives his soldiers the chance to improve, which is more than the voices of Narad allows. Off to an early start at educating the problems between our camps, are we? The voices of Narat doesn't give his soldiers anything but a purpose. He barely even feeds us. We take everything we want, including our advancement. All right. Hail, Kairos, and glory to the voices of Narat. I take it you're the gopher everyone's talking about. Are you getting the lay of the ruins or just avoiding the Archons? We picked this area clean months ago. All that's left are some old stones and a prize off in the distance. What do you want? Tell me about these ruins. This place used to be an actual fort. When Karen came through, the Archon of Stone pulled down most of the masonry with him. Not sure if it was intentional, but he left the old statue in one piece. It's carved in the likeness of the old queen, Lyceris. Strangest thing, the statue started crying blood around the time of war. I like to think we clobbered the Vendrian guards so badly that their ancestors could feel it. What do you know about the spire? I know how to tell time by its shadow, and that it hurts my neck to stare up for too long. Really, it's no different from the spires in the north. Big, ugly, and inaccessible. It's strange that the Vendrian people built their citadel around it, but there's no accounting for taste. Be seeing you, Fatebinder. Do I still have coffee? My throat's starting to get a little... I do have a little coffee. Nice. Just a little left. Uninjured Horde, Mocking Blaze. Okay, we've talked to them already. It's pretty good so far. I like that we have the two factions that we're dealing with on the evil side. I, however, don't know where we're supposed to be. Oh, I guess we're going this way. Nope, that's for that. Never mind. That is for that. Aurora Cosma. And this is the monument. All the blood pouring out of its eyes. The once pure water of Queen Lysarius' tears have run red with blood since Cairo's forces invaded. Oh, so it used to be a happy place. I get it. Oh, we need subterfuge to unlock that? Oh. We could open this one. Sky cap. Okay.
I'll be your shadow.
What did I say before? Was it control? Or tab? Oh, it was tab. There we go. Then we can see everything around us. Okay. You're off to bed, lurking for the count. Appreciate it. I appreciate it. Have a good sleep. There's a box over here. Fishy! The only thing is I don't know where we're going next.
Need to talk? I suppose I can give you a moment of my time.
I guess we could learn a little bit more about verse.
What do you need?
Let's see. Yeah, tell me about your time with the Scarlet Chorus.
The Scarlet Chorus is mostly for madmen and peasants with rusty daggers, but it's also a little niche of freedom that I never had. Once I survived training and met my Scarlet Fury sisters, I saw a different side of the Howling Mob.
Who are your sisters? Who were they would be more appropriate. Three Whispers, Red Geyser, Seeking Sheaf, best fighters I ever met. There wasn't a foe we couldn't take down together. Our fighting styles complemented perfectly, so we divided up the killing work like bards sharing a song. At least we used to. What happened to them? We were scouting around Vendrian's well during the siege, back when we only suspected the guard organizing in secret. My sisters and I came upon a group of them. Or Kyrus knows, maybe they found us. No one said anything. We drew iron and bronze. That was when everything went wrong. I was supposed to take point and occupy the guard with the dance of blade work. Something disoriented while my sisters picked their marks. I hesitated, lost my nerve. Instead of rushing the Oathbreakers, I froze, my weapon drawn. My sisters fought on without me, but they were off balance. Like whatever I had was catching. They died, I lived. My sisters were relying on me to lead the dance, and I failed them. And caution stayed your hand. Caution? You've gained fear adverse. Save your caution for the disfavored. If we showed caution, could we have taken the bastard city or the gate's judgment? Could we have conquered the tears with anything less than our blood boiling over with rage, a song of battle ripping from our lungs? Yeah, we need to roleplay as like a warlord. Alright, I've got to not be me. This is going to be tough. Alright, I've got to have an actual RP going on this. I've got to like really roleplay this. If we're going to make this guy like a big ass war, if we're going to make him like a warlord that's going to try to take over everything, then I feel like we need to be not so sympathetic. I think the RP is basically only the strong shall survive. Mercy is for the weak. And blood for the blood god. Hesitation is a rot. It's unbecoming of any chorus member and unheard in the scarlet fury. I would cut it from my body and cauterize the wound if only I knew its source. Any idea why you lost your nerve in battle? I wish I had an explanation. For the first time I lost the dance. The song of murder drew silent. Instead, there was only rigid, organized control. Back to my questions about the Scarlet Chorus.
What do you need to know?
Tell me about your training.
For new recruits shoved to the front lines, training means surviving the first battle. Anything beyond that is for the fighters who show potential, whether as blade dancers or arcane madmen. There's nothing in the world like getting put through the paces as a Scarlet Fury. Every day is a test of your commitment and passion. Failure means death. The first few weeks were the hardest, but also the most rewarding. I earned my name, picked up some quality weapons, and met my sisters.
You earned your name? If you think Simple Farmer from the Tears would name her child Verse, I suggest you visit my old village. Most of them were walking around with surnames like Barrel or Fish. Not the most creative bunch. She smirks and shakes her head. The chorus takes your name away. Whoever you were before, you aren't that person anymore. And you earn back a name through great deeds, usually murderous ones. That's why you see choirmen walking around with names like Stink Mouse or Face First. There's probably a good reasoning for it. The voices of Narat gave me this name. When the Scarlet Chorus runs howling at the battle, he doesn't hear war, he hears a symphony. And when I fight with blade or bow, he told me that my music stands out louder than anyone else's and contains too many parts to be easily defined. And you least expect that the Archon of Secrets can be downright charming. Tell me about your weapon skills. When I was just a kid, it didn't take long for me to realize I was a natural. I could pick up a rusty kitchen knife and skewer a rat from across the room. The Scarlet Chorus gave me the opportunities to further educate myself. My sisters were always a bit surprised by how quickly I took to different fighting styles. Alright. Okay. Okay. The Upkairos was forced to defend from the rebel attack, saving Commander Drastus in the process. Okay. Well, we gotta figure out where to go next, it seems. Steppers are approaching the approacher, offering a curt nod in acknowledgement. Let's see. Guy alive still? I told you I pulled through. Nice. Good job. Good job. Climb down, jump down. Examine the torque. Torque possesses a number of small grooves that otherwise appears fairly ordinary. Got some treasure back here. Oh boy! Water! Ooh, bloodstone. Cool, cool, cool. Okay, I'm guessing that was it for in here. Yep. Alright, so this is the classic. Let's go around the area, see if we can find anything cool. People lined up against the wall. This is probably what they did to the Oathbreakers. Makes sense. Well, at least we didn't crucify them. Kind of, but not in that kind of state. More like just hanged them by their hands up on the rope thing. I need to figure out how the hell to get out of here. I want to leave. Let me leave. What's the next part? Maybe down here. Oh. Is there like a world map? Oh, that okay. All right, that's what I thought. I was thinking about. I'm like, well, wait a minute. Maybe there's a world map, and I pick where I go next. This fort was constructed shortly after routing rebels along the Western Valley. Okay, it will take us about 2 hours and 45 minutes to get there. Let's rock and roll. Okay, let's rock and roll. Okay, let's rock and roll. Okay, let's rock and roll. Alrighty, let's rock and roll. Okay, yep, let's rock. Yep, yep. Nope, okay. The bastard city's up here. Ooh, it's a decent sized map. The Blade Grave, the Contested Lands, Vendrian's Well, the Stone Sea, Haven. This must be where we volcanically lost that place. There's Isengard. Yeah, I don't get how we get out of here. All right, no misses. That's a world map. Because normally what would happen is you would see an area that it would let you leave. Unless we didn't do something yet. I feel like we talked to everybody we had to talk to, though. You arrived at the outskirts in the old remains just as one of the Crescent runners was getting you up to speed in the situation. They helped attack. You helped the Kairos defend the engine cap from the attack. Okay. Travel to this. Make your way to the southeast through Edgering Fort and travel to this favored camp where Graven Ash and the Voices of Narada meeting discuss their strategy. Okay, so we have to travel to this favored camp. Okay, I got that part. But where the hell? How do we? How the hell do we get out of here? Have I got a giant rope? Just make our way down to the valley. What's the situation? All it takes is a number to cross the river under the hail of arrows. If either of you is correct, the campaign would be over and I wouldn't be here. Fair point. The Legion is eager to gain some perspective on the quarrels. Consequently, I retract my previous remark. "7 years? Ads! Alright, while the ads are going on, this one I'm not going to get up for, but we are going to see if we can get the hell out of this camp so we can continue on and move on from this. There must be something we're missing here, because usually in these type of games, like Baldur's Gate, Baldur's Gate 2, and 1 and 3, and everything like that, usually there's a part you can hit and just continue, like, to leave from the map. This area got closed up. Yeah, I thought it would be down here and stuff, but I don't see... Ooh, what did that do? Did that give us anything? I don't think it did. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, it did. Gave us a torque. Battle-worn torque. 1 vitality. Oh, hell yeah. Give it to me! Nice. Alright, cool. We had the lore to figure that out. Got the torque off of that. It was a Beastmen torque. Gave us a vitality. Oh my gods. I'm gonna walk away now. God damn it, I didn't look down the corner of the map. You son of a bitch. Yep, there it is. Ay, 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 ay. Hail, Fatebinder. His favorite scout nods your approach. Camp's on the ahead. Don't mind us, just clearing out the rabble. Sterling Hagnon. I still don't understand what I've done to offend. I respect that these are now disfavored lands, and I'm happy to give the Legion a proper toll. But she's going on about trading rights. What nonsense is that? I'm not allowed to trade one thing for another? It's not like I'm selling weapons to angry peasants or anything of the sort. Ooh, we all about the Overlord? The Overlord regulates all trade. If you lack the proper permits, your goods are forfeit. I think we're gonna roleplay that we are, because we're like kind of favored by the Overlord. Because he's the one who sent us out here to do this. Right now, we're gonna roleplay that we are favored by the Overlord. We're doing everything under the Overlord's command, but we'll see where that leads. Well, how would I mean? I don't speak for such a thing. Not us, and not our problem. Maybe march your butt to Bastard City and plead your case before Tunin. Oh, we'll lighten your burden and relieve you of your wares first. That should make the long trek a bit more bearable. Let's see. Well, I am speaking for Tunin because he's sending me literally to, like, destroy things. Anything to be argued before Tunin may be argued before me. What's there to discuss? We should kill this mongrel, and if the Fatebinder wishes to weigh in on the matter, the courtesy demands we listen. This is disfavored matter, but I know the agents of the court do so love to throw their judgments around. Well, you could rob me now and have my supplies today. The merchant grabs a flask from his cart. Or you could leave me alive and have fermented honey all year long. I even know a few family recipes for painkillers and healing draughts. Certainly any army will need those. Ooh. What a coincidence. Your family recipe for wound paste smells just like the Scarlet Fury's own concoction. Where'd you steal this? I don't. The merchant tenses up, his face flushing red. I don't know what you're getting at. Pick him up by the collar. How stupid do you think I am? Slow down, I'll tell you everything. Just don't hurt me. I found most everything out in the forests of the valley. I keep my head low when I hear the sounds of combat. Then I take a look and grab whatever was claimed by the first victors. So you then stole from the disfavored dead. How else did you get your hands on that iron? You would come here and sell us your own armaments? If anything has an owner, I will return it, but this iron would have turned to rust if I left in the mud of the battlefield. Disfavored are few in number, is that not right? You need a man like me to gather up supplies that would otherwise go to waste. Oh my god, so I can wipe this guy out for good right now. We'll go in favor of disfavored, though. The disfavored will tolerate your presence, but you will pay them handsomely for such charity. We will? Disfavored soldier clears her throat with a cough before repeating herself in a more upbeat manner. We will! It sickens me to make exceptions for this vulture, but you'll supply a disfavored without profit. Perhaps indiscretion is the best. It's not like our larders are overflowing. A work slave to scrounge provisions would be an asset. Thank you for interceding on my behalf. I know my life will now depend on showing disfavored due gratitude for suffering my presence. If I must grovel a bit to earn my duly gain, so be it. Problem solved. Now give me your shit. So saving your hide was worth... Oh, well, naturally. One good jury deserves another. When I have my shop up and running, I'll sell you provisions for a song and give you a proper bounty on any odd bits of weaponry you find. Provided that you keep standing up for me and should those iron goons try to rough me up a second time. You were lucky with us before, merchant. Take care you don't challenge your luck again. Ooh. Slow down a moment. I know we're both eager to watch the Archons bicker over tactics like a pair of magpies, but I need to ask you something first. What's that? Voices of Narat told me that you've come as a mediator. Considering the source, well, I can't help but feel I'm only hearing half the story, so let's have it. What's so special about you? What else have the voices of Narat told you? Only that I could find you in the Edgering ruins. Truthfully, I could have picked you out of a crowd, but you're the only one of us who hasn't spent the last few months bathing in the stink of the Matani River. Oh, did we tell her the truth? Or did we lie? I mean, she was truthful to us about some things. I also feel like as being like a warlord and stuff, we're not going to lie. We're just going to come straight out and be like, yeah, you're all going to die if you don't freaking... like, we're not being subterfuging here. It's like, oh, we're just being brash and to the point. Boom. But we are a battle mage, so we do happen to have some tactics when it comes down to it. We're not just a mindless killer and stuff like that too. I feel like we are very tactful and everything. Yeah, we're gonna lie. I'm actually tallying the expense of the siege. Is that all? I can understand why Tunin would worry himself over resources, but we have the riches of the Northern Empire backing this conquest. Not to mention the plunder of the tiers. If you say that's the case, I'll go along with it. Why so suspicious? It's just a feeling I got. When the Archons are together, the air gets as taut as a bowstring. I can't help but think no amount of compromise will get them seeing eye to eye. So why invite a mediator from Tunin's court? It doesn't add up. Why do you think the Archons are at odds? I've been with the Scarlet Chorus since the early days of Conquest, so I could say it's been building for a few years now. There's an energy about those two, like a pair of storms moving to the collide. I've heard tell that Graven Ash and the voices of Narat shared some bad blood in the Northern Empire, but I don't know any of the particulars. By my authority, the Archons will fall in line. That sounds exactly like the attitude to set this campaign in the right direction. I don't envy you the task of getting them to cooperate, which sounds as easy as teaching a tornado to heal. At least you should know what you're doing. Enough of this. I must meet with the Archons. Hey, don't let me hold you back. I'm sure whatever you're here to do is important enough that you don't need me stepping in your path. The war tent is just past the center of camp. One last thing. Be careful around these disfavored types. They take their work seriously. And most have suffered too many blows to the head. Alright. We're going in! Just see what's over here, if there's anything to grab up. That's just to leave. Okay, good, good, good. I'm OCD when it comes to these maps sometimes. Well, look at you. Our gatecrasher from the court is still in one piece. The guard pounds his chest plate in salute. Welcome to this favored camp. Always happy to have an honored ally pay us a visit. Graven Ash protects. That he does. Warrior nods in approval and taps twice on the gate to signal your arrival. Be well, Fatebinder. Glory to Kairos. We're in. Pentabor, huh? Pentabor, Rona, Barrack. Okay, there's a few people here with names. They're probably going to be Stone Shield Helm. Ooh. Hail to you, guardian of the law. The man dressed in the merchant finery greets you with a smile. If you have a few excess rings weighing you down, best unburden yourself before battle. You know that if the disfavored suffer a merchant in their camp, they must be a man selling only the finest provisions and ornaments. Let me see your wares. Alright, what do we got here? Brotherhood Stout. Beer! Beer, 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 tiddly beer, beer, beer. Nothing too much, to be honest. I think we're good. Too much armor to mend. Okay. Oh, she works with him. Okay. Beer, 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 diddly beer, beer, beer. Something to grab over here. Maybe a weapon of some sort. A shield. Tower shield. Ooh, I do like tower shields.
It's all in the reflexes.
Heavy leather boots. Deflection, recovery, and disengagement defense. Nice. Isotanus curses the air as the blade of thin iron breaks in half beneath his hammer. Repairing weapons with scrap isn't exactly why I got into this craft, but our supplies are spent. He wipes the sweat from his brow and gets a better look at you. Why not forge bronze? Bronze will do in a pinch, don't get me wrong. It can take a beating and get bent back into shape. Unlike the stubborn iron we have here, he glances at a pile of his work with dread, and we always have plenty of tin and copper lying around, so supplies aren't the problem. It's a rare smith who can churn out military-grade bronze consistently. More often than not, it comes out soft. Look around camp. We're garbing the Legion head to toe in iron because it's cheaper and easier to produce for the masses. Couldn't do that with bronze. They called it as favor the Iron Legion for a reason. Strategy and skill may be our backbone. But our claws are made of iron, the good stuff that comes from the smiths in Lethian's Crossing. You mentioned an iron shortage. I'm afraid so. The last shipment sent down the Matani went missing near Echo Call Crossing, and I'm afraid we won't be seeing any more now that the valley is sealed. Forge-bound iron is Tunan's responsibility. Why is this the first I'm hearing of it? Keep your voice down. Raven Ash doesn't want to cause a panic or pass any information to the Vendrian Guard. Best case scenario, the iron tumbled off a boat and is rusting on a riverbed. Worst case, it ends up in the enemy hands. If I find myself an Echo Call, I suppose I can keep an eye out. I appreciate that, as does the great general, more than you might guess. Maybe he isn't quick to offer his thanks to outsiders, but I know he'll be grateful for your help. It would be a boon to the war effort if our iron was recovered. Yeah, you can trust me to handle this. I'm here to help, even if it means cleaning up the Archon's mess. Yeah, I want to go with that. I knew that Tunan wouldn't have dispatched you without good reason. The court isn't exactly known for gambling when the stakes are high. You see that? That is how we tell apart our iron shipments from the rest. Inconspicuous so people don't go snooping around. You want to keep an eye out for these. Good hunting. Alright, what does he have? Oh, okay. He's got some cool stuff here. Powers, an oath-bound helm. Well, I wanted to see it first. Heavy armor, iron, crush, fire armor. Okay. It's got more armor. Yeah, the most it has is more armor, a little more piercing thing, but not too much beyond that. Stop buying stuff. Yeah, we'll keep our ceremonial stuff for now. Check the camp out a little more over here, see if there's anything to go grab. Nothing in those boxes or anything. Okay. The map's pretty good. It's not like gigantic, but it's like it's perfect where the way it is.
It's all in the reflexes.
Okay, nothing else over here. Bitter quip. Glory to the voices of Narat! Projecting his salutations for all to hear, the grinning blood chanter raps his staff against the ground as you approach. Fatebinder, Stormguard the Raven, I presume. His smile quickly retreats, giving way to a sour scowl. I am Bitter Quip. I am here as the emissary of the Scarlet Chorus. He looks at you impatiently. What is it like working with the disfavored? He scoffs, looking away from you for a moment before sniffling and returning his attention to you. Reporting to the Iron Hag is an insult. She fought one duel for her title. One! Her leadership must be continuously proven, earned, and defended. Weakness should bleed to the bottom of the army, not rise to the top. If only to see with my own eyes the failure disfavored, that will be a fine day. Let's meet Lucia and Marcus first before we go inside. I am Lucia, this is Marcus. This favorite soldier points to the armored man next to her, and you must be the Fate Binder. Under her helmet you hear an audible scoff. We have assigned to your hospitality, Marcus quietly interjects, while you remain on disfavored ground. If you need a place to rest, we can make the necessary preparations. What can we do for you? Training? Oh, okay. For money, we can train. Am I parry up there as well, too? That's about as far as I can train on that end. All right. Let's see what Lucia does. One-handed dodge and athletics. Okay. Oh, the athletics would have been good. Nothing to grab. We do have a bed we can rest in, but honestly, I don't think we're going to need it right now. This is Graven Ash, huh? That's a big dude.
That's 4 reports of avalanches in the mountains now. The Tearsmen can barely count past 9. They have neither the capacity nor the cause to close off the mountain passes. Either way, that leaves the 2nd and 4th cohort trapped outside the valley.
The Archon of War pounds his staff on the ground to punctuate the words, a large and imposing man to begin with. His profile is made larger still by his hulking suit of armor that hums with mystic energy.
Or it's the work of your perfidious Earthshakers. Only a fool would not suspect a traitorous Archon of poisoning the mind of his students with sedition. We would have killed the Earthshakers Guild for their master's treachery, but I'm sure you have some perfectly valid reason for allowing them to live as your pawns.
The Archon of Secrets passes a scepter between his hands as he speaks, twirling the rod in hypnotic circles. Emerald luminescence seeps from the seams of the Archon's ragged red robes. The glow is most noticeable where his neck ought to be. His mask seems to float and spin, never pivoting or bending naturally.
Hey, watch yourself. When these two get going, you don't want to get between them.
I'm just gonna bust in there and be like, yeah, I'm here to bring this thing, man. I am here to proclaim Kairos' edict. The valley was sealed in preparation for this moment. Iron Marshal Enrios. Governor Stormguard, the Raven. Long have we been honored by your iron. Now we are honored by your presence. I must apologize for my lord's tempers run high of late. Yeah, I'm not bowing to these guys. Listen, the Archon... listen. All right, the guy picked me, okay? The rest of you... Get out of here. I'm going to glare silently. Although... no. Warlord, glare silently.
Ah, the fire starter has arrived. Welcome, welcome. Our agents tell us such lovely stories of what you did at the Vellum Citadel. Have you come bearing another fragment of Kairos' wrath in tow? We were worried you'd never make it, So glad that Drostus' demise didn't cause further delay.
The Archon of Secrets turns his attention to you. The frozen rictus fashioned into his bronze mask greets you with a permanent smile. Well, he is the voice, the Archon of Secrets, so I'm going to say that's why he knew about Drastus. Yeah, we're just getting right to the point. I come bearing an edict of Kairos.
It seemed only yesterday you were proving your worth in battle, assisting my warriors in the siege of the bastard city. Now Kairos has chosen you for a second time to proclaim an edict. Tell us, good Fatebinder, what sort of punishment does the Overlord have in store for the Oathbreakers?
Let's see here. Kind of like the middle one. Well, it seems you need some encouragement to work together. Kairos' edict will end the lives of everyone in the valley unless Ascension Hall is acclaimed by Kairos' Day of Swords. The earth sways with each word you utter, the air thickening with warmth as you pronounce the tersely parsed phrase commandment. Its every syllable drafted by the hands of Kairos. With the edict proclaimed, your pulse quickens and the muscles in your legs, worn from a long trip down the mountains, feel renewed. The tired limbs now nearly buoyant with vigor.
The Overlord means to compel us into action. No doubt the avalanches in the mountains are part of this ultimatum. We must conquer the Oathbreakers or die in failure. There is no room for error, and no other way out of this valley alive. We'll need to advance across the Mittani. We lose everything if we stand still. And we move to back up Plan Green. The Earthshakers didn't make it over the mountain in time. So we do this the hard way. Over the walls instead of through.
The Archon of War taps a finger against his temple. A low rumble escaped from under his beard.
So you found your backbone at last! Oh, we were worried past humiliations would make you soft, timid. That was a record for you, right? The baker's dozen lost in one sortie. If you had waited for the chorus reinforcements, maybe we'd have eyes and ears on the matter.
The Archon of Secrets passes his scepter from one hand to the next, chuckling softly with each toss. Ooh, do I piss this guy off even more? This guy's like Skeletor to me right now. You bubbling fuzz! I can hit him with a subterfuge. But I think that's going to anger him, if anything else. I'm going to remain silent. We got shit to do. Just get this figured out.
You make it sound like you've been putting even the slightest effort into getting a foothold across the Mittani, when all you've done is set your gangs to uncoordinated raids. You're the Archon of Secrets. Why is it you still don't know the enemy's full strength and capabilities? Maybe you know, and choose not to share.
Look, if you're afraid to send more troops against the Oathbreakers, just admit that you're a coward and allow us to take charge of the situation. The Scarlet Chorus will be happy to prove it can do what the disfavored cannot.
Yeah, I'm going against both of them. Are you too daft? Is your indecision and bickering that necessitated this edict?
Daft? Only fools hate their lives enough to insult our intellect. But, our dear Binder, your invective is not without purpose. Each moment we waste, death by edict draws closer. Graven Ash, we leave you to tackle the river. The chorus will scour the outer valley.
So that is what it takes to get you to agree to a plan of action. The threat of death? You place the Overlord in this position with your incessant arguments, but now we've actually agreed to do something. Kairos be praised.
All right. Enough talking. There's work to be done. My lord, Barrick and his band have been drilled on the Echo Core assault plan. The Crescent Runners should be briefing him as we speak. Regarding the latest enemy movements along the river, I will dispatch him at once. The Iron Marshal salutes, clapping her gauntlet to her breastplate. And I will ensure the chorus stands ready to march. If the disfavored can take the river, the chorus has the manpower to secure the outer ring of the valley.
Our soldiers clamor for battle, and at last we shall have it. Verse, we command you to continue guarding the Fatebinder. Tunon's Chosen is our honored guest, and must be shown our finest hospitality.
I won't let you down, boss. He'll get through the campaign in one piece, as long as he doesn't do anything too stupid.
The Archon twirls the scepter one last time, then taps the fifth eye on the shoulder, and the two depart. Alright. Who's turning on who here?
The fool and his puppet are gone. Perhaps now I can hear myself think. Rarely do I question Kairos' judgment, but I will never understand why the voices of Nerat is given such authority. I shudder to think what will become of us all should Tunon favor him in the end. Though the edict threatens the Scarlet Chorus just as it threatens us, I cannot shake the feeling that our allies will work against us. You've shown your worth in war, and your name has been known to the Legion since the very beginning of this long conquest. So I'd ask that you join us this one last time to help us wrap up this last objective. If you wish to be counted amongst the glorious, speak with the Iron Marshal. She will direct the order of battle until we are ready for the final push into the Citadel.
I'm short on a few scouts, short a few soldiers, short a few everything. I'm sure my brethren would be grateful for the assistance of a skilled outsider. What of the Scarlet Chorus? How will they be helping?
I ask myself that question often. While we take the river crossing, the Scarlet Chorus should be using their sizable presence to remove the Oathbreaker patrols lurking in the outer valley.
The Oathbreakers have maintained a sizable force outside the Citadel. We need the chorus manpower to scour the region. Otherwise, the Oathbreakers will attack at our heels once we cross the Matani. Alright. I would be honored to help. I'll be at the training grounds, readying the soldiers. Find me there when you are ready. She pauses, clearing her throat. And though I am loath to mention it, the chorus can likely use your assistance. They certainly won't scour the outer valley on their own. Fifth Eye will be somewhere in that rat's nest they call a camp, due east. Seek him out if you must. Okay. Ooh, perfect. We gained a level 2 and everything. Heck yeah. Unspent talent points. All right, what do we got? We have 1 talent point, level up. At each level, you can increase one of your character's attributes: might, finesse, quickness, wits, vitality, or resolve. Each of these attributes provides benefits to your character as well as increases one over the more of the skills. All right, well, let's start there. We're gonna go ahead right off the bat and bring up our might. Then we're going to go with our talent point. Aggressive stance and focus on rapid strikes to overwhelm opponents. Aggressive stance and focuses on powerful strikes to penetrate a foe's armor. Cleave, focus strike, palm strike. Adds the spell Breach Affliction to thrust attacks. Also grants a bonus to magic skills for a short time after using thrust. Ooh, that's a nice combination, actually. Behemoth, what's going on? It's been a long time since I've been able to tune into anything. Used to watch on Twitch. Glad to see you're still going strong. Thanks, I appreciate it. Yep, we're actually have been given the opportunity to become a full-time content creator, and that's kind of what we're working on. We're doing a special day today called Sunday Stories and stuff. We are still over on Twitch as well, too. But on Sunday and Fridays, we'll also be on YouTube for a few hours doing this, and then Friday Nightmares, our horror stuff. Then the rest of the week, we're on Twitch. So basically, we're on both on Sunday and Friday, and then during the week, we're on both doing our big open world long playthroughs. I appreciate you popping in. No, say hi. I'm going to add that arcane charge because it sounds pretty cool, because it seems anytime we do a thrust attack, we'll have an affliction, and it seems we'll also get a bonus to our magic skills for a short time after using it. Yeah, that's a good one. I think we're going to go with that, to be honest. Speaking of which, our ads are about to run, it looks like, on Twitch's side, I think. Yeah, that's a good one. We'll go with that. She hasn't leveled up yet. All right. Currently attempting to secure the outer ring of Vendrian's well. You need to help them deal with the rebel force in the area before Kairos' army march safely upon the citadel. Okay. Good stuff. Happy Father's Day. Not sure if you got kids, but I'll allow pets as well. I do have some cats. Yes. I am a cat dad, if anything else. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Explore Echo Call Crossing for clues of the missing ship. And yeah, we've got to find this iron too. Okay, so we've got 3 quests in mind so far. What if we could do some more training too? We can. We're going to get our athletics up because I have seen a few things with athletics. It looks like we need to check that out. All right. There we go. Looks like a PC game. Is this PC only? I'm actually playing through Neverwinter Nights 2. I got the physical copy from Limited Run Games. Yes, this is called Tyranny. It is a PC only game. I've been told this is definitely one I need to check out. The idea behind it is that evil runs rampant. And then you make choices depending on how evil you want to continue. Evil as one, basically. The best way to put it. Oh yeah, I gotta remember to do that sometimes when we go like this so we can see what's around us. Yeah, very much falls. Like, this was made back in like 2016 and stuff. It's an older game,
But it's one, like I said, that people have been wanting me to play for quite a long time, since I like CRPGs and stuff. And it's pretty good so far. I do have to say, I like the storyline and the choices. Firestarter, our skeins are once again crossed. Welcome to this favored camp. With a resounding clank, that this favored warrior pounds his gauntlets through his chest in salute. I'm Severus the Younger. We served in the Vellum Citadel together. Good to be properly introduced. I remember you stopped the chorus from turning their leadership selection into one giant civil war. Glad Tunin sent a Fatebinder that knows the right side of the law. You should jaw with Iron Marshal if you want to talk substance. I'm just managing patrols here. She and Ash are giving direction. What is it you need? Oh, we should find out about that. Loving the old school isometric view like old Baldur's Gate games, Torment. Yes. Yep. Yeah, very much in that vein. This is actually made by Obsidian. It's an Obsidian game, actually. It was made by Obsidian. I overheard you asking the Earthshaker where the reinforcements have gone. Is there a problem? I'm afraid so. Radix, the head of the Earthshakers, was supposed to arrive with a group of the most competent spellslingers to help break the stalemate. I don't know what's holding up their arrival, and that worries me. If you were at all inclined to lend a hand, we could use some arcane support on our side. I could lend a hand. Could you? I knew that Tunin's agent wouldn't fail us in a time of need. I'll mark the last known site of the Earthshaker reinforcements on your map. Good hunting, Fatebinder. Alright. Yeah. I figured that was going to give us a new quest. Don't just cuddle the impact. Push back with your shield. Take the momentum. I said eyes on your opponent's waistline. If you spend more than a glance checking his footwork, you've lost. This favored officer turns to you, adjusting her pale golden surcoat as she clears her throat. You need to stay on top of the troops so their skills will rust. It's for their own good, even if they don't believe it. It was mentioned you're short on warriors and need help. What's the situation? I have brigades amassing along Placid, Echo Call, and Little Tooth crossings. The Vendrian Guard may be able to hold one bridge, but they cannot hold against a concerted three-prong attack. I have no right to give you orders, but we all die to Kyros' edict should we fail. So I'm not about to let my pride blind me to the value of good help. I will assist. And our plan might work. The Iron Marshal lifts her gauntlet close to her face, shifting her eyes to you, to the metal articulations. We are loath to work with those who do not share our training and our values, but we know that Tunan, the educator, selects only the most capable minds for his court, and I trust you will honor us on the field. Antio will be leading the charge at Echo Call Crossing, assisting you with the barrack of the stone shields. Before you ask, no, the forge-bound weren't sloshed on a dapple seed when they fitted his armor. He survived the full force of the Edict of Storms, and this armor doesn't exactly come off. Tactically, it's quite brilliant, but otherwise it's something of a curse. Barrack, come meet the Fatebinder. This guy's like encased in his armor? Interesting. All Obsidian titles are great. This should be as well then? Yeah. Yeah, the writing so far has been really good. Soldier that steps up to you better resemble an amalgamation of rusted blades and mismatched pieces of armor fused into a vaguely human shape. He reeks of sweat, feces, and whatever oil treatment keeps him flexible.
Fatebinder, the Iron Marshal has tasked me with keeping you alive, and I have no intention of disappointing her. That should be enough assurance for anyone.
We'll nod silently. I'm ashamed that the Gothic remake wasn't done so well. Seems like there was a lot of bugs and stability issues on PS5, and they heavily censored it. Oh, I'm actually playing that and stuff. I'm playing the remake right now. Really enjoying it. Playing it on PC and such. I haven't found really any bugs or anything. and stability, so I don't know. I've never played the original, so I don't know how much, like, what's been happened, censored, or things like that, but I am enjoying what's going on so far. Barrick returns your nod, silent save for the creaking articulations of an annoyed carapace.
Barrick, is that you under there? I had no idea you were in Vendrian's well. Fatebinder, do you know this walking anchor?
I don't believe we've been acquainted. Oh, wait a minute. No, I do know this guy. Yeah, he was with me in the contest. I know him as well as knew anyone during the conquest.
That can change. When the Tears are fully under our command, I'll take you to whatever passes for a watering hole in this forsaken country. We'll drink the local swill to honor the fallen.
Okay, I like this guy.
Forget the Fallen. I know a great brothel in Lethian's Crossing where we can watch something rise, then fall, then rise again.
Ha! The Fatebinder will be joining us for the push across the river. I figured an extra hand might help. And more importantly, if my worries come true and the chorus tries to impede the mission, we will have an observer from the court on our side.
Better to work with the honorable Binder than some chorus children.
I asked that Barrick accompany you there to arbitrate the cooperation between his company and the Scarlet Chorus. Echo Call Crossing is now unlocked on the world map. Ooh. Barrick, we've been without a cohort since the last battle of Stalwart. It's time we gave you a task more worthy than hauling wagons and leading training drills. Ash has assigned you to the Fatebinder's service. You're to assume this task is ongoing until we find a more permanent spot for you, which could very well mean the swiftly approaching end of this war, or when the Fatebinder dismisses you. Is that understood? Barrick regards the Iron Marshal in oppressive silence. That's an order, Barrick. He can be as stubborn as pulling a spire out of the earth, but he's a good soldier. I hope you don't mind the company. I'm honored to have a member of the Iron Legion at my side. You have gained favor with disfavored, you have gained loyalty with Barrick. Excellent. I look forward to your success in the field. Alrighty, so we gained ourselves a new party member.
This again?
Let's take a look at what we can level up on him. Looks like he's very good at strength. Yeah, he seems like he would be a good tanky tank. Sentinel or Punisher? Yeah, let's give him that. He will be a tanky tank.
Please stop.
How'd you do that? Burst looks at you with a quizzical expression. Do what? Back in the Archon's war tent, you cast an edict as casually as reading a supply shipment. How'd you do that? Well, I've done it before. You cast the Edict of Fire on the Vellum Citadel. I heard about it. How Kairos' anger raised the volcano from under the sage's own fortress. That was some impressive work. I nod silently. Well, call me impressed, considering that you've read the words of Kairos more than once. I'm surprised that you're even alive to tell it. Your vocal cord should have turned to ash by now. I'm not trying to make you feel uncomfortable, it's just worth recognizing what you've done. Not only are you Tunan's Fatebinder, you're the mouthpiece of the Overlord. Gives me plenty of reason to stick around. You're going places I want to see where they lead. That's enough for now. Alrighty then. Alright, we've been doing this for about almost 3.5 hours. So I think on Sundays what we're going to do is probably about 3 hours or so, and then we'll do our normal stuff. Because again, my voice can only take so much anyway as it is. And not to mention, when we're having it on YouTube, we don't want to have like extra long hours and stuff like that. So we're going to still go until 4 o'clock, but I think what we're going to do is we're going to shut down the YouTube. So at least we get about 3.5, give or take, hours into that. And then the rest of the time, we'll go back and we'll play some Gothic and stuff. So I'm going to say goodbye to YouTube for now. Behemoth, good talking to you as well. If you want to come over to Twitch and hang out with us and stuff like that, we will be over there. And we're going to continue with some Gothic Remake, which is our main game we're working on right now. So, with that being said, we'll do that, and we'll continue back to where we were. This has been very cool so far. Oh, we've got 8 days to do this, too. Oh. Oh, we will be back on YouTube Live between the shorts through the week, but we will be back on YouTube Live on Friday for Friday Nightmares. We'll be doing the Alien Cube. So, but for Sunday, this is our Tyranny thing, which will be on every Sunday moving forward. We will be doing about 3.5 hours of Tyranny and continuing the storyline and such. So, all right, let me go ahead. We're going to save. I feel like this is a good stopping point too, because we've got quests now, we've got places to go, things like that. So now next Sunday we can pick up and go from there. It's like having a D&D adventure and then just being like, okay. Let me go ahead and shut down the tubes. Oh, almost 3 hours. 2 hours and 46 minutes. Okay, well next time we'll plan for about 3 hours or so. Still close enough.